Well, Jeff Kutchell, it's great to be with you on Jeff Squared. How are things in your world?
Hey, Jeff, it's going very well. How about yourself?
Good. I was almost late coming to this recording, though. I wish there was a way that these platforms like Zoom or Teams and the meeting platforms, if you put in your username and password and it was close, it just said, hey, close enough, come on in. But
Yeah, that might be a problem.
it would help me out
But
sometimes. Yeah.
yet, I'm kind of glad I'm not an employer right now. I've been talking to some employers around the country, and it just sounds like right now, everyone has lots of work, but man, just finding employees is a big challenge. In fact, just this morning, I was talking with a friend of mine out on the East Coast that has about 10 employees, and he was telling me, he said, I've given out about $20,000 worth of work in the last few months to a friendly competitor. He goes, I just can't find good employees. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I can't imagine the challenge. The lack of workers is a problem. I wish we had an answer for people. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. Maybe do we have a guest that maybe could help us answer some of these questions about finding good employees?
I was thinking we need someone to come on who knows about how to hire and get good employees, but we don't really have anyone. But we do have another person who might come in who's in
Let's
our
check it
waiting
out.
room.
Yeah, let's check them out.
Just kidding, Steve. We know you know your stuff.
You guys sure can be hurtful, but I'm used to it.
Hey, when you come on Jeff Squared, you get made fun of. Everyone knows that. Maybe you didn't know that, Steve. I don't.
I keep coming back for more abuse, but
That's
thank
right.
you guys.
So, Steve Toburen, thank you for joining Jeff Senior and I as we dig into this lack of worker situation. It's in the news every day. People, if you have a company, you need workers. But I think Jeff's going to start us off with a few questions.
Great. Go for
Yeah.
it, Jeff.
No, that's the question, Steve. If you were running a cleaning or restoration company today, basically the basic question is, how do you find good workers? And what would you say?
Well, maybe most importantly, what I tell all of my students is, above all else, stop this desperation hiring. And we all know what that means. An employee quits with no notice, and you scream out, get me a warm body in here. And that never ends well. So above all else, I'd say that. And then I want all of you to start developing what I call a job candidate list. Have people already lined up waiting to come to work for your company. And the way you get these people, getting out there and recruiting, actively recruiting on a daily basis.
Okay, well, that's interesting, recruiting, but where do you find the folks to recruit?
Well, again, don't depend on help wanted ads. You just don't do that, because who reads help wanted ads?
I guess people who need a job, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and especially in today's hiring environment where people are desperate for employees, anyone who's unemployed is probably unemployed for a very good reason. And I really preach, even when you're desperate, just like when you're looking for, say, a spouse, don't settle, because it's going to come back later and haunt you. So one great strategy is to do what I call active recruiting, where on a daily basis, you're approaching people that you see out in the workplace who are just doing their job in a great manner, a great way. And you go, hey, want to come to work for me? Very discreetly.
Steve, that sounds like poaching from other companies. They're not looking for a job.
No, that's what makes them good workers. But poaching is kind of an ugly word, Jeff. Let's just say instead, I'm offering them an opportunity to better their life. And when you get down to it, that's a pretty good definition of capitalism. And I will tell you, all of you folks who are listening to me, trust me, your employees, your workers, they're getting recruited by other companies on a daily basis. But on the other hand, if you don't feel right about doing it, Jeff, don't do it.
Oh, good points.
So do you have any other recruiting suggestions, Steve?
Sure. One is get that hiring net thrown out there wider. One way is email all of your customer base and offer them a $50 gift card, good for any of the services you offer, just for any referral they want to send you. And then sweeten the pot by telling them, listen, any of the referrals that I hire, if they stay with me for 3 months or more, I'll send you a $250 gift card. And when you think about it, who knows better than your customers who should be working in their homes? And then I'll give you one more. Get your employees on board. So recruit your employees to do active recruiting for you. Because normally your employees, and we're going to hope they're part of what I call very best people. Well, very best people tend to hang out with other very best people. So they can go to their friends, to their associates and say, wow, we're hiring over at my company. Why don't you jump in and at least check us out? And then, of course, if you do hire one of their referrals, don't give them a gift card for your goods and services. They don't care about that. Give them cold, hard cash. And who of you would not pay cold, hard cash for a great job candidate?
Speaking of cash, Steve, this industry is cleaning and restoration. And the millennials, the Generation Z, now the alphas, the ones who always have electronics, they might not be that interested in what we do. Maybe throwing cash at them won't work as well. What would you say to that?
I'd say you're right. It's a challenge. And as you comment, we're in a labor-intensive business. And our big challenge isn't office staff, isn't salespeople so much. It's people, frontline technicians. What to do? Well, the first thing is, you knew I'd get to this, money. Hiring is very much a supply and demand proposition. So, folks, you got to up the game and start offering people more money. And of course, to do that, my second point, Jeff, would be to do that, you need to raise your prices. And that's a whole topic for another Jeff Squared, how to raise your prices. But do that. And the beautiful thing here is, with all the press on inflation, your customers will understand if you've raised your prices, but they're not going to offer you more money. You have to ask for it and then share that, invest that money, at least part of that extra pricing, which is basically net profit because you're already covering your basic cost, invest it back in your employees. L.L. Bean, a famous Maine entrepreneur from over 100 years ago, he said, I find that if I pay my people 20% more than they can earn in any other comparable job, I'll get 40% better employees. And those words were true 100 years ago. They're more true, even more today.
Okay, Steve, good advice. Money is important. What else?
Well, one thing I stress is you need to build what I call a stable 5-star local business. What's that mean? Employees today, the new generation coming on board, they want to have what I call a triple S employer. What's that mean? A safe, sane, stable workplace. And I will say with respect, a safe, sane, stable workplace does not remotely describe the typical cleaning and restoration business. So you need to have systems, procedures in place, and also, very honestly, you need to have a lot of 5-star local reviews, because a good prospective employee doesn't want to work for just anybody. They want to work for a respected company. So get those 5-star reviews up.
So what about schedules?
Excellent point. People today, they need to have a flexible schedule. And, it's good for you too. I'm a huge proponent of, at least initially, offering a job candidate a part-time job kind of what I call a trial hire. You didn't ask your wife to marry you on your first date, and you shouldn't do that with a full-time job on a first interview. So offer people part-time work, offer them flex time work, some practical ideas. For years, we've known firefighters make excellent job candidates. Firefighters will work like a 24, 48-hour shift, and then they get 2 or 3 days off. Well, that's a great time to come to work for you. They're in great shape. They're already background checked, and they have their own health insurance. Get creative in your local marketplace. I have a friend in a Colorado mountain town. He, for years and years, he's been hiring the same people. What are they? They're ski patrolmen. They work all winter skiing the slopes, and then the ski season ends just at the exact same time as Joe's busy time starts with carpet cleaning. They come to work for him. They work for him till Thanksgiving, and then they go back to work for the ski company. It works great. So get creative out there. There's a lot of people that we're not even looking for.
Okay, Steve, so just to kind of recap, so pay them well, raise your prices, have some type of a flexible schedule. Anything else?
Maybe just another thought or two. One thing I really preach is develop a flexible, simple, what I call employee efficiency bonus plan. In other words, where you reward these great employees when they're efficient, when you make money, the company makes money, you share the wealth, and make it on a team basis. Get everybody focused. And of course, too, when somebody on the team makes a boneheaded mistake, the whole team suffers. So then you get into what I call positive peer pressure, because now their teammates are upset with them instead of you having to scream at an employee. So really great employees love this sort of environment. And maybe finally, and I wasn't real good at this, I was too obsessed. The new generation, they want to have fun. They want to have a vision. So have games in the company, fun contests, sponsor company teams, and sincerely tell your people you appreciate them. We don't do that enough. Oh, and one final thing, folks, listen to your employees. Let them contribute. The new generation wants to contribute to their workplace.
Good advice. Steve, I know you've had a business for many years in the past, and a lot of our listeners might be not the millennials, the Gen Zs. They might be mature business owners. So they might think about in the past, it was easier to find people. It was, you just put up help wanted sign, good people came running. Not the same today. Any final thoughts you would share on that?
Sure. Just what you said. The old paradigm in hiring, it's gone. So forget about it. You're not going to have people coming to you begging for any job, and then you can basically use them, abuse them, not that any of us would, and keep making money off of them. So just like when you get busy, when you're cleaning or restoration services, you don't stop marketing your services. The same way with your employees. When you get a great team, don't stop marketing, don't stop your recruiting, because invariably something will change and you'll lose someone or you'll grow. But either way, make recruiting an ongoing process. And also make sure the job, the career you have to offer, it's going to be viewed as a step up to the people you're recruiting. Because when you think about it, remember I said to recruit from people who are already employed. So therefore, what that means is only an idiot would quit one job to go to work for a worse job, and you don't want to hire idiots. So make sure you're offering a great work environment, excellent pay, and yes, you can do this if you raise your prices.
Steve, I believe you have a seminar coming up.
By total chance, Jeff, I do. On August 10th, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, everything we talked about and much, much more, including 75 pages of hiring infrastructure, I'm going to be sharing with folks in our Hiring Your Best seminar. So it's a wonderful seminar. It's very timely. People love it. So please join me on August 10th.
Well, Jeff, you said that Steve wouldn't have much to say about hiring good people, but I found him to be a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, very informative. Thank you so much, Steve.